Hi, hello, and good evening. We are here recapping episode 3 of Claim to Fame. Honestly, I am so happy with the way this one ended. Okay.
Yeah, me too.
When I tell you that Miguel was getting on my damn nerves like nobody else, I'm so sick of his squirrely running around the house. Oh my gosh, I'm so absolutely thrilled. Let's get into everything. I am Kyle Petty, and I'm joined, as always, by my ride or die, John Dunphy, and this is Strat Chat. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. And all right, let's get into this. We had a double elimination the last time, which I remember very little of.
There's too much happening right now. Big
I know, there's
Brother,
a lot.
House of the Dragon, everything. Yeah.
Yes, and that double, I didn't even know the people well enough to really care about the double, if that makes sense. Because I was like, okay, so two people are
Yeah.
leaving. I didn't know your name anyway, so good. Glad I didn't commit it to memory. Happy trails. But I did think that it was interesting that Miguel and Diedrich were the ones that were behind the deception with the whole Antonio Banderas thing with whoever it was that failed last week. That was like that sweet little girl, Gracie
It was
Joy.
great, Gracie Lou or something. Yeah.
Okay, Gracie May. Gracie
Sounds like
Joy.
she's from Whoville.
Right, sweet little Gracie. Um, so yeah, sorry, girl. Naomi had no. She wanted no parts of you, right? She definitely thought that she was a threat, and that's kind of how that whole situation happened.
I really like Naomi, by the way, and
I like her too,
right, because she's just very funny, but like not like. It's like more of like a dry humor also, and you could see how satisfied she was when she knew that she got Gracie Lou.
Yeah, she's gonna be another exciting one to watch. Yeah, I'm pretty jazzed about her. And just as an overall thought, like this particular cast, like I really don't know who anybody is. Like I have zero ideas. Like I feel like last year there were like some things we were talking about. I think you said from the beginning, JB Smooth for Miss Ma'am. And we said Eddie Murphy for other Miss Lady.
Oh yeah. Miss Lady.
Miss Ma'am, Miss Lady. I don't remember anybody's names.
It's so true though, because even in this episode 3 of this season, when they got to like the mission or whatever, I was like, oh my god, I'm really gonna have to pay attention because they chose the captains. I remember it was Danny and Shane, but as I was watching, I was like, I don't remember either of these guys' names.
Right.
So thank God that they're the captains because I know that they're definitely gonna say the name at some point.
Yeah, thank goodness that helps. It helps my muscle memory. Can we also talk about Shane for a quick moment? I feel like there might be an answer to this. Maybe I just wasn't paying complete attention. But what's the deal with this chicken wing necklace? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know at all. I can't unless I'm just forgetting or I missed the explanation of it. But I also saw that he was referring to his team in this mission as Team Crispy, which makes me feel like it's crispy chicken.
Right. Maybe he is a distant cousin to the Colonel. I guess we'll find out after some time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's that. That's all I have on that. Somebody had made a comment referring to Diedrich as Mr. Jackson. This is kind of how our episode started off, which he had a visceral reaction to. He's like, absolutely not. What are you talking about? Why would you call me Mr. Jackson? Why would you call me Mr. Jackson? Well, because you called yourself Mr. Jackson.
Right.
Like, that's how we got here. That is how we got here.
I just loved how he got, like you said, it was a very visceral reaction. Like he got so annoyed by it, being like, why would you, like, as if being like, how do you have the audacity to call me Mr. Jackson? It's
Mr.
like,
Jackson. Where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from? And
they got it from you.
Right. But that's honestly... All right, so what he said on the heels of this, he's like, maybe Johnson, maybe you mean like, Dwayne Johnson. It's like, okay, I see where you might be going with that, but I also think that now you're deflecting because the fact that you didn't remember that you said Mr. Jackson, and that's the reason why they are saying Mr. Jackson, almost kind of lends itself to like Naomi's idea or her theory about this being like a slip.
Right.
This was just not a Miguel situation where we're intentionally like misleading you. Like this sounds a little bit like, ooh, maybe you slipped up. Maybe you
Right.
slipped up. Liz also does not know, by the way, where the chicken wing necklace has come from.
Okay.
Everybody
Okay.
is flummoxed.
I hope we get an explanation at some point. I mean, I'm
Right.
curious.
I thought that maybe there was one. I just didn't get it.
Yeah, maybe. It's possible. It's totally possible. But
Mm.
I mean, it seems like it's well made, right? It looks like a real piece of chicken. Looks pretty good.
Does not look a real piece of chicken. It looks like it looks like this came like off the Clue wall, and they just put some chains around it. All right, like let's
The clue.
they ripped it off the Clue wall.
I don't know.
Like that looks like a plastic piece of chicken.
I don't know, man. I think it's better quality than you're giving credit for.
I know my chicken. Thank you very much. I'm melanated enough to know my chicken. I'm fat enough to know my chicken. But go ahead. You want to chomp on plastic? You would knock yourself out. He didn't love. He didn't love being referred to as Little Richard's relative, which I don't see why that's like so offensive. I don't think that Little Richard is ugly.
Right. I don't think so either. And I also feel like, why are you shooting down? Like, why are you trying to take people off Little Richard when it's not the correct? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it might not be correct now that we're finding out more clues about Danny getting his clue and everything, right?
Mm-hmm,
So, like, why keep other options in there? You know what I mean? Like, why keep like take other options away? I mean,
right. Unless that's it. Did it strike a nerve? Or maybe he's trying, it could just be misdirection. It could be him just trying to cast a lot of doubt on a lot of different things. I guess we'll see how that one plays out. It could be strategy, in which case I would respect it, that I'm here for it,
unless I'm totally wrong too, because I've convinced myself now that it is Michael Jackson. So, like, I feel like now I'm just so convinced, but who knows? Maybe he'll get up there and his relative will actually be Little Richard. So.
It could be anything. I'd love to know why you think it's Michael Jackson, but that might be more fun to get to once we get to his clue. Not a spoiler. You should have watched it at this point.
The slip up, the Mr. Jackson slip up, right, and then now the clue also.
Yeah, I need help with the clue. But first, there was something that happened at this early conversation. We saw Adam sitting down for breakfast, and I wanted to bring this to people's attention. What exactly are we looking at here? These are pancakes, but what's on top? Is that eggs? Like flat eggs?
It does kind of look like eggs, like fried eggs.
Right? Like, I just felt like I don't understand what you're eating here. And then, like, I also didn't see any syrup. I see there are packets. Now that I'm looking a little bit closer, little containers here. So obviously they didn't make this food. Okay. This was catered. They did the Uber Eats. Something is going on here. This definitely came from a restaurant because nobody gives you syrup in little plastic containers, right? That feels like Sunday morning to me. Liz wants to call Gina and see if she solved the clue. Well, good luck, okay? Because we were looking to see if she was going to join us this evening, and she didn't even say anything. She told us nothing. So if you get a hold of her first, let us know what she had to say. Shade intended. So I don't know what this meal is here. That's all I wanted to point out. It's very stupid. But so there's that. So we had what I would like to consider a claim to fame classic.
Yes.
Telephone, and I don't know if it's a classic because we didn't watch season 1.
It's already one to me.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it certainly was. And this was a little bit different in the sense that you had to get the entire limerick correct in order to be able to move on. You had 2 separate teams, 2 limericks, but same set of limericks, right? So everybody was presented with the same thing, which I was pleased to see. I was a little concerned we were going to have 4 limericks all together, and it's like, well, what if one is easier than the other? That's not really fair. It would have been interesting because that means that other people's clues are kind of floating around. From different groups. That could have been fun to watch. But the two teams, you had two team captains, Shane and Danny. Whatever team captain won, let's see, what were they going to get? They get copies of both limericks, and they get copies of both limericks, and they get to go into the wine clue room. All right, the clue cellar. You know, I like my alliteration. It's too bad you have two C's there. It doesn't work, you know, because it's a clue. They get k, and then cellar is s. So that's unfortunate that doesn't work in our favor. Any Hoosers. So that's how that goes. The team captain that does not win, right? They are automatically one of the guessers, and they will have to now choose from their own team who will be that second guesser. So I think that's an interesting little twist there. Very fun, very fun. What did you think of the way that this one went? I have both limericks here. Both of them meant absolutely nothing to me.
Oh yeah, the clues in these missions, I feel like I would never, they like wouldn't help me at all.
No,
yeah, like even handing me those limericks, right. I feel like I'd be like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. But it was very fun to actually watch them do this. So, like, the first person obviously got the limerick from Kevin. Then they had to talk through a phone with some modulated vocals, right? They got to see each other. They can maybe read lips. They can maybe play charades and act it out a bit, but like, certainly some distorted sounds. Then the next person, whoever received the modulated information, had to now go to the balcony and shout through a megaphone to somebody 100 yards away. And then that person was now supposed to take this message and go through this obstacle course, which it did make me laugh. This was not a real obstacle course.
Right.
It was literally movie theater velvet rope that they're just jumping over, and they're basically doing I don't even want to say glorified, because I didn't see any ongoing water. So this is a low budget slip and slide.
Yeah.
All right, because even the ones you got for your backyard, the sprinkler was still putting the water on. Like, right, it was constantly being hydrated. This was a very dry slip and slide.
Yeah, the way that Miguel and Adam looked after doing this was like it looked like it was like oil or something. It was like gross.
It was like olive oil.
Yeah, it's gross.
Gyros.
I felt bad. Obviously, you don't want to see anybody get hurt, but it was just a little funny to me when Adam was talking about how like, oh man, what's going on? There's lots of sounds. But anyway, Adam was talking about how he's like a really great comp threat physical person, and immediately then like pulled his hamstring. I felt really bad, but yeah. Are you here?
I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm hearing absolutely nothing you're saying.
Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you right now.
Something went kaflooey over here. All right.
I could hear lots of noises.
Wait. Please hold.
This is the beauty of being live.
It's coming from here, but it's not. I don't hear anything.
Liz says she hears us both.
Oh, well, Liz is hearing us. I mean, that helps. That helps to know that she's hearing things.
I can hear you.
Yes, I'm not.
I can hear you.
Like, what do I do?
Did you try to unplug your headphones and plug them back in?
Oh, please.
Maybe I'll just talk to Liz maybe for a while.
I'm scared to leave.
Kyle's having some problems.
I feel like I should exit, and you're just going to have to like freewheel.
All right.
I see you responding to what I'm saying, but this is it's not great. All right, well, good luck.
This is gonna be a fun clip. So yeah, we're talking claim to fame, talking telephone. I thought it was awesome. I have to say, I got really annoyed. I felt bad for Adam getting hurt. That was one thing. I can't wait to talk about this with Kyle again when he gets back too. But something that really annoyed me was that Naomi, for her team, actually did a great job, I guess best as she could, with the clues that she was being given by Miguel. And Miguel did so awful. And then it was Shane blaming Naomi for like messing the whole thing up. Meanwhile, Miguel was giving her like the worst possible clues you could ever get. That was probably the most annoying part of this whole season for me so far, because Miguel has been like all over the place, totally not trustworthy at all. And then here we have Naomi taking the blame for his screw ups. So I have not been a fan of Miguel at all this season. And those are my thoughts on Miguel. And one other thing about that, I was so annoyed because they did so bad. The Thousand Island, you're right, Liz. The Thousand Island mess up was a little rough, but still, I feel like, and obviously it's hard to tell with editing, but also, tell me this, Liz. What do you think? Why can't the label be on there? Is it just because of branding? Is it just because of the brand? I don't know. But yeah, so that really pissed me off. And then the fact that they went to the second round because Shane was like, "Oh, I have to switch places with Naomi because she's doing so terrible," and so that's what Shane is saying. And then the whole round had to be like ended immediately because they had no more time. So Shane didn't even get a chance to see how bad Miguel was at giving the clues, and still instead was blaming Naomi for the poor performance of the team. Hello.
I'm back.
I've been going off on Miguel.
Oh, well, thank goodness. I was like, well, good luck. Freewheel.
Just a quick recap so you can respond. I was
tell me
talking about
things.
how I was very annoyed because Naomi took all the blame for her team's poor performance, but I felt like Miguel was much more to blame because he was terrible at giving those clues. Liz did mention the Thousand Island slip up from Naomi, but I still think that they would have been done much faster if it hadn't been Miguel's poor performance. And then the fact that their team did so poorly in that first round, after Shane traded places with Naomi, he didn't even have a chance to see how bad Miguel was because because they had no time to actually perform in the second round. And they were back at the house, and Shane was like, "Miguel, what were you saying? What were you hearing from the information I was giving you?" And he was like, "I heard everything you said word for word, and I repeated it exactly word for word back to Naomi." I was like, "You did absolutely not do that."
He definitely did not. And it was his cockiness that annoyed me like the most, because he just acted like he was so much superior to everybody else.
Yeah. Oh my god! And how many times did he say it? Once you take the sheep's head mask off, you can't hide your wolf head. Like, shut up!
Oh my gosh, yes, so annoying. And I was like, that's exactly why they named this episode that, because he was just so excited to have a line.
Yeah.
Just like I'm also sick. It's not really their fault, but speaking of lines that we're sick of, I'm tired of the whole "we're not playing checkers, it's chess." It's like, enough. Playing chess, not checkers. It's like, just shut up. It's like so old and played. Ugh.
Oh man.
Can we discuss the limericks that they were presented with?
Yes.
Because they didn't mean much to me at all. On the mountain, there once was a lion in a handmade rose dress. She was styling, but her dancing was bad and it made the town sad. So they shipped her right off to the island. What? Does that mean anything to you?
No. Can you read it? Can you read it
the
one
way
more
you
time?
put your hand up, I thought you were about to drop me with something fantastic. I was like, yo, he's about to blow my mind.
Could you tell me what was it? What was it again?
All right. On the mountain, there once was a lion in a handmade rose dress. She was styling, but her dancing was bad and it made the town sad. So they shipped her right off to the island.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything to me.
There's only one. There's only one line. It's tied into Diedrich's clue that we got. That we got later on when Danny pulled it. Each of the statues was a clue. Liz is saying.
So wasn't the lion? The lion was the lion was a statue, right?
It's true. Yeah.
The handmade rose dress. Okay, maybe Beauty and the Beast. But her dancing was bad.
So for this one, and so because after I watched the episode, I feel like I did this a couple times last season too, because some of these clues seem very obvious and then some of them are not.
Cheating.
So I found an article that talks about Diedrich's clue. But before we get into that, because I know we're going to get there, the only line in this that now makes sense to me is that they're tying her dancing was bad clue to Diedrich because of the Michael Jackson song Bad.
Okay. All right. Well, how about Limerick 2? His toga was in disarray on an oddly peculiar Friday. He wrote a honky tonk song, but his hair was too long and his pompadour needed a spray. It's interesting because Mackenzie had said, "Oh my gosh, not my clue," and it's like, what? What does that mean? And what the hell? Listen, I've heard the word pompadour, but I most certainly did not know what it meant. Liz says nobody better be related to Rebecca Black.
Rebecca Black. Yeah.
I mean, she did have that song Friday, 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 doodle boom bop, Friday, Friday.
I feel like is that really how it went?
I don't think she did doodle bops, but like, but there was something.
Oh man,
it was like Friday, 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 ooh, Friday, Friday, Friday. Oh,
I feel like you're singing that to like the rhythm of a different song. I feel like you're singing it to Justin Bieber's. Was it Baby, 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 Baby? Oh, that's why I was sitting here like, is that how the song goes? Friday.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Oh, we're sorry, Rebecca.
Wasn't it just like honestly, Friday, Friday, gotta get down on Friday, whatever it was.
Right, and the oohs are definitely Justin Bieber's. I'm a mess. I'm not gonna be able to find the chorus, so just forget it. All right, we did the best we could. Sorry, I'm old. All right, I'm almost 40. Give me a break. You're lucky I even know Justin Bieber. All right, give me a break. So Mackenzie said that could be her clue, which is, I suppose, fine because it doesn't really mean anything to me. A honky tonk song.
I don't know.
Okay.
We're terrible at this.
Yeah, no, I would not be good at this at all. All right. So it was Shane's team that lost. Shane was automatically the guesser, and he selected Miguel. Smart choice. Kind of knew that everybody kind of wanted Miguel to go.
Yeah. I was nervous he was going to pick Naomi though, because he was blaming her for the team's loss. So I got nervous.
I don't know how you can blame it on any one person in a game like this.
Right.
You just got to go with whoever you don't think you know who they are. Right. If you're not on their trail, then like you got to just choose them. You got to just choose them. I think it was Mackenzie that kind of started this little movement regarding the whole giraffe thing and Madagascar, and is Adam related to David Schwimmer in some way because she believes he was the voice of the giraffe. I truly don't remember those things.
I loved Adam in this one when he heard people saying David Schwimmer possibly being like, "Oh, you mind saying Matthew McConaughey?" Because now it's like, oh, could he be like almost telling the truth, but like just trying to throw me off, and then
is he deflecting?
Right. But then now, like, if somebody says David Schwimmer, they'll be like, well, maybe we should say Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, and I think this is also like one of those things where, like, I think we had discussed like last season we were watching this show that like this game is going to get more and more interesting as it continues on, because in the beginning people don't really know how to play, they don't really know what they want to do. Now they've been watching, and like now they're kind of like people who are related to somebody famous are going to apply thinking, hey, wait, I've got a great strategy going into this. So it's going to be interesting to see how this game kind of evolves, and I think we're already starting to see that with some of this there's a lot of deflection this season. I just feel like people are setting a lot of people up to fail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Danny chose Diedrich's clue in the wine cellar after his big win during the telephone challenge. I do have a picture of that clue. So we've got a scarecrow, an owl. We don't know what he has to say. You know, he's saying something.
Well, what do owls say? Who?
Mm-hmm.
So, scarecrow who walks backwards.
Well, what's this door thing?
In, and then it's N. That's a lever, but it says minus the L, so it becomes never, and then it's a plane landing. Scarecrow who walks backwards in Neverland.
Wow. That is not what I saw. I was on board for Scarecrow. I thought the owl is for I always feel like this body's watching me. And I feel like he was watching. I'm like, I don't know what he has to say about it. Hoo-hoo. And then I saw the walking thing like backwards. I was on board for that. Isn't this symbol, though? You're saying in.
Yeah. There's an arrow pointing into a door, like in.
But isn't that also in some like internet things? Isn't that also the little thing that's associated with exit? Like exiting?
I don't know.
See, that's what I saw when I looked at that. I was like, oh, so N plus, and you said this is a lever.
Or a lever.
Minus L, a lever. Yeah, I'm with you, Liz. I didn't realize that was a lever. I thought this was a video game joystick. I'm thinking arcade. I am really bad at this.
But I feel like
wait, Liz is the same thing.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like a joystick is still a type of lever, really. You know.
Yeah, fine, but I wouldn't say joystick minus L. That doesn't mean anything to me.
That's why you gotta think outside the box. You know.
So it looks very Michael Jackson-y. Or somebody Jackson. That's what's going to be interesting.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. It doesn't necessarily have... Well, I guess if you're related to Michael Jackson, couldn't you just say anybody in the Jackson family? Because that means you're related to all of them.
You really could. But it's like, you said Michael. Wrong. It's really Jermaine. And it's like, so
right.
This could go a number of different ways. LaToya, what if it's Janet? But I suppose if you're related to one, then you're related to all. So scratch that.
Well, that's what. But because I guess he probably had to go on the show saying like, specifically, who do you want to say that is your relative?
Right. Because
you know, I feel like obviously Michael Jackson is the king, but like, there's a lot of famous people in that family. It's a very talented family.
It is. But then I guess you can't say that also isn't the claim to fame, though. So even if you're like Jermaine's whatever, you're still Michael something. So
yeah, I guess it all comes down to Michael.
Right. It's never not Michael. Not Michael. So there's that. Okay. So N plus lever minus E Neverland. But why are we so convinced? I mean, I get it. It definitely is correct. It's correct. And I guess that's why it's a clue. But it's like this also could just be who said this plane was landing. Maybe it's takeoff, launch.
I feel like they would have made it seem more obvious that it was like going up. Like this looks like it's an airplane approaching a runway to me. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I do not. It looks like the plane is going straight on. I don't see the nose dipping down or up.
I don't know. To me, it looks like it's coming towards us onto the runway.
Oh, you think it's coming towards us?
Like I think
I saw this is going out.
To me, especially the little white symbol looks more like it's facing us. Like the see where like the tail of the plane is in the symbol below the piece of
I
paper.
guess I in that one, yeah. See, I was looking at the paper,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter. It definitely is that. I'm definitely wrong. I definitely just am not good at this game.
Well,
And that's
that's what.
fine.
Yeah,
No
that's
problem.
why too. After seeing these like the clues, though, like I'm very sure it's got to be Michael Jackson, and that's why I'm like, if somebody in there is saying Little Richard, let him say Little Richard.
Right. Well, let me ask you this then, because I will say that Diedrich was also a little shook because he said that the giraffe was his clue as well. Why?
I think because Michael Jackson owned giraffes at Neverland Ranch.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. What else did I hear in this episode? Shane had made mention to Diedrich that his sister's godfather is Michael Jackson. Did you hear that?
Yes, yes,
What does
that
that
was very
mean?
interesting.
What does that mean? Right. So it's like, okay. So I'm already thinking like, I don't know, like Barry Gordy, like who in that world might have done something like that. Not that
Right.
he necessarily looks like him or anything, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, there are still
Um,
so many people, maybe everybody except for Diedrich, honestly, that I just feel like it could be. I still think Adam is Michael Bolton. That's my guess for Adam.
mm,
There's
mhm,
something about his
mhm.
voice and the fact that before the talent show, he said he didn't want to sing because people would get. I can hear it. I don't know. And like that's my guess for that one. But that's like really just like a guess. The Diedrich one, I'm like pretty sure on. Everyone else, I feel like I have no freaking idea. Like,
Yeah, no, I have no idea. And that really even came down to even like who was eliminated and how this guess off
yeah,
even went,
right,
because even that surprised me. I did not
yeah.
see this coming in a million years. Um, I was
Mackenzie, Danny. I don't even have a guess for these people. Like,
I have no guess at all. No guess at all. Well, we need to see more clues. We need more people getting into that cellar, and we need to see some more things.
yeah.
Um, well, that does bring us to the guess off, right? So it was it was Shane and Miguel. Miguel was selected. Our first unanimous vote of the season. Right? I don't think
Mm,
we had that before.
right.
Um, Miguel chose Dietrich, which ruffled my feathers a little bit because I felt like, why are you choosing him
Yeah, the
when
one guy that's working with you. Like,
right? And the one guy that helped you with that deflection, why would you choose him? But I guess at that point, though, it's do or die.
yeah, I
Right.
guess, and like the two guesses he had, right, were Little Richard for Diedrich, and then what was the
Mhm.
other one? Oh,
It
David
was
Schwimmer,
David
right,
Schwimmer for
for
Adam, which
Adam,
I
right.
don't think is correct. I don't think
I don't think that's correct either.
mm.
And those were his two guesses. Both of them would have been wrong. So I guess if he feels in that moment even the slightest bit more confident in one guess over the other, you just go with that one. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I mean, you are playing a game, and I really just met you a couple of days ago. Yeah, you helped me pull that other thing off, but like, they still wouldn't have guessed me even if I was the
Right.
person selected to be guessed. So like, I was good.
Yeah.
So like,
I just I felt like I would have a really hard time trying to decide like the way that it was edited. I mean, sure he could have just been playing it up for the camera, but he was like, I didn't want to be in this position, but now that I'm here about to make my guess, I just can't get this shit-eating grin off my face. And, like he seemed like fairly confident in saying,
Mhm.
calling up Diedrich and saying his name. I think I'd be sitting there. They'd have to pan to a commercial because I'd be there with my hands on my head, like I can't decide who to pick. Like,
Yeah. Um, he selected Diedrich, said Little Richard was definitely wrong. And we came to find out that Miguel's name is really Raphael, and he is related to the living legend of the Halloween series, Miss Jamie Lynn Curtis. Jamie Lee
yeah,
Curtis.
Jamie Lee
Um,
Curtis, fantastic.
yeah, I never would have seen that coming. He really
Absolutely not.
absolutely not. Like I didn't even see any clues that would have led us to that. I want to see the clue wall again.
I
Like
think they did show just one.
only one.
They showed on the clue wall after he had been voted out.
Mm-hmm.
They did go to the clue wall and show like a butcher knife that was on the wall,
I mean, that
but
still could have been
still could have been
anything.
so many things. Yeah,
Right. I mean, how many slashers are out there? Like, who
right,
would have thought it was definitely that?
right.
Um, I thought that was fantastic. And it's too bad. It's too bad that Miguel played, and that's what's interesting about this. I think it's the way that he played the game that is really what led to his demise because no one was thinking Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, yeah.
And it also would have been interesting to see what other clues might have been associated. Like, I know her from
Right.
Halloween.
Oh, Liz. Liz has a comment here.
Oh, right, because she said Peculiar Friday or Freaky Friday. That was my next thing. I was wondering, like, what clues could have been on the wall that would have led us to Freaky Friday, but I don't even know that movie well enough. I know I saw it years ago, but I don't know it well enough to be able to pick up on clues that would associate a person with that, if that makes sense.
Right. No,
Um,
I think that people would have been screwed in there if if they had if Miguel stayed in the game or Raphael have
mm,
stayed in the game all this time and like never had to guess or whatever. I don't know who would have gotten that. I mean, I guess I feel like once somebody pulled his clue, though, maybe it would have become a lot more obvious. And you never know what other information. Like, there's a lot of good missions that they've done. I'm excited to see what they do going forward this season. That I feel like sometimes the clues actually do get pretty good because you have to start. I am a little annoyed. I'm still enjoying this, but like we've had 4 of these guess offs now, and everybody's going home just on wrong guesses. Like I want to see somebody get one right. So
I think
um,
it's coming. I think it's
yeah.
coming.
So I feel like these clues have to start getting a little better, maybe.
Mm. No, that's certainly fair. It's interesting though that Liz also pointed out the like the limerick again, and in terms of the peculiar Friday, because I'm not sure that the rest of that would have applied to Miguel or Jamie Lee. Um, being that, so the whole limerick was, his toga was in disarray on an oddly peculiar Friday. He wrote a honky tonk song, but his hair was too long and his pompadour needed a spray. That's supposed to be all for one person, right? That's not like a.
I actually don't think so because they did each team did 2 limericks, right? Or they were supposed
Mhm.
to. The second team didn't even get their second limerick, but like they were supposed to have 2 limericks for each team. And
She's saying they're all separate.
I think each limerick had like a one line or whatever would be about one person, another line would be about someone
Mm.
else. Because if you think about it, if there's 4 limericks and each one has a line about 2 people, that's 8, and that's the number of people that we had in this competition.
Okay.
So
No, that changes a lot. That means I have to look at this. On the mountain there once was a lion. Well, that's Diedrich. In a handmade rose dress she was styling. So who wears a handmade rose dress? But her dancing was bad and it made the town sad. So they shipped her right off to the island. Other than Michael Jackson as the lion, I don't know that any of that means anything to me.
do you think somebody could be Elton John?
What about that made you think Elton John?
No, because not that last thing that you said, but there was another
Oh.
thing that you said. Um, there's a piano on the clue wall. I know that. There was
Mhm.
a honky tonk reference.
Yeah, that's in Limerick
Elton
too.
John. Elton John has a song called Honky Cat. Get back, Honky Cat. But there's another clue that I was just thinking of that I can't remember right now. Oh, the once was a mountain with a lion or whatever. The Lion King, didn't Elton John sing
Okay.
in The Lion King? Although now Liz is saying Island could be the Lonely Island, and apparently Michael Bolton did a song with them. So if
The
my
Lonely
guess,
Island is a group.
yeah. So if my guess about Adam is correct, that could maybe it's that.
Okay. See, I don't know anything about that. Um, Liz also said, I think I'm pretty in pink. What's that? Does that mean anything to you?
Pretty in Pink wasn't there someone that was suspected of being related to Molly Ringwald?
I only found out who she was a couple of days ago. And I cringe when she's brought up because I still owe Jacob Hacker
Molly
to finish
Ringwald,
the Breakfast Club.
Pretty in Pink, a 1986 film with Molly Ringwald.
Okay. Yeah, she says that Molly Ringwald's dress in that movie is homemade. All right. Well,
see, the thing is that I don't even know who to associate some of these clues with, like that are playing the game as the relatives. Like I don't remember who might have been suspected of being Molly Ringwald's relative, if Liz remembers that. Like it does make sense. These do seem like they could be clues for Molly
wasn't it
Ringwald. I just don't
Naomi?
remember.
Was the Naomi
Was it?
Ringwald person?
It
I
might have
think.
been. It might have been.
I think. Crikey.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I have, which is really not much.
No, yeah, it was another good episode. Thank you to Franklin.
Of course, thank you to Franklin.
Yeah, and I just
brother that matters.
That's right, and I just hope that I want to shout out Franklin at least once in every stream that we do about Claim to Fame. Just keep tagging him when I post it.
Please hang out with us. We love you.
So yeah, and I hope that somebody gets a guess right soon.
I think it's coming next week.
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah,
I have faith. So I have faith.
We are all going to be gathered here on Aug 5 and be discussing how we had our first correct guess.
Aug 5. Oh yeah, Liz mentions that John Cryer was the first out, and people were talking about the connection between John Cryer and Molly Ringwald. So I remember that also. Aug 5.
John Cryer. That doesn't mean anything to me.
2.5 Men, you know.
Yeah, no, I don't actually. That's really the problem.
And didn't we say Lex Luthor or whatever? Didn't you know him from that?
Oh, Lex Luthor. Yes, that is familiar. See, hold on. I want to just look up. I want to make sure I got this name correct. Oh, it's Jim. So, you know, I'm a fan of Tyler Perry's The Haves and the Have-Nots. And there was a character on that show, Jim Cryer. But the actor's name is John Schneider. So that's why I feel like John Cryer is that person. Every time I hear John Cryer, I'm like, Tyler Perry! And it's like, absolutely not. Very wrong.
Yeah.
I'm a loser.
You're not a loser.
Nah.
Get out of here with that.
Well, when it comes to Claim to Fame, I'm really not good at this. I'm glad that there's really no way to draft this. I'm really glad that there's no way to attach my name to any of this because everything I say is wrong.
Listen, I'm not doing much better than you.
I dig it, but I'm not good at it. That's kind of where that is.
Yeah.
But all right. I mean, anything else for the benefit of the Claim to Fame community?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Then we can address the Strat Chat community at large. We do thank you for supporting and watching and listening and all that you do. We'll be back here on Thursday, Aug 1, as we discuss the second full week in the Big Brother 26 house. Please remember that Wednesday and Thursday episodes have been moved to 8 p.m. Eastern, which means that we will be here with you at 9:15, 15 minutes after the eviction occurs, discussing the events of the week. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We will also be covering the Challenge 40. We have not figured out when we'll be discussing that, but we are not dropping a season of the challenge. So just another reason for you to follow us on the socials and find out. If there's nothing else, I think we're out of here. You know,
yeah.
I think we're out of here. So thanks for listening. Gina, if you're anywhere, maybe send us a text. I don't know.